Yosemite is one of those iconic places you just have to visit at least once. There's so much to see that people take 2 weeks to see it all. In our case, we only had a weekend and we planned this trip last minute, so the main question we attempt to answer in this episode is how much of Yosemite can you see in just 2 days and without a plan? We're driving to Yosemite. There was serious doubt whether or not I can wake up at 6 to go on a road trip, and I did it.
What time is it?
It's 6:53, but we're already on the road. We still have like a 2-hour drive and we didn't eat in the morning, so on the way I found this specialty coffee shop that looked really good, and it's just kind of a midway, so we'll probably stop there to get a quick snack. The coffee shop turned out to be very nice. They had a nice selection of savory dishes. We opted for avocado and egg and a savory scone. And they do this really cool thing with coffee. They offered rainbow latte art. It doesn't have any different taste, but it just looks really pretty. Another nice thing about this place is that they have an outdoor seating under the trees, so you have a little bit of shade and a little breeze, and it's a very comfortable sitting. Really nice lady was giving out postcards. The idea is that you paint on top of them, and she's offering the paint materials. We were quite happy with the food and coffee, and it was a perfect amount to let us continue our trip. So definitely recommend this place. We're halfway through and I did some research on what we can see in a short time. Inside the park itself, I found these spots I wanted to see. There is a Bridalveil waterfall that just reopened in April in 2025, so this is definitely a spot we wanted to try and see. Then there is a valley view, this iconic spot. From there we might also hike to the Artist Point, which is a higher viewpoint, and it's famous for photographers and painters that created there. And speaking of photographers, photos of Ansel Adams, the iconic photographer, that were taken there. And last spot we wanted to see is his gallery that is inside the park as well. So these are the 4 main points we wanted to see, and I'm most excited about the last one because this was the photographer I've studied when I did the photography school a long time ago, and the photos he takes and the lights and the shadows is just so beautiful. Being able to see the spot where he created some of his most famous works would be really amazing. And so this is a plan for today. I'm not sure we will be able to get into the park tomorrow. If we can, we might just continue exploring. If not, I mapped out a few spots that are related to the gold rush history, and I'm also really excited to see. And then we discovered that you're supposed to reserve a spot at Yosemite starting June 15 through August or September. Otherwise you cannot come in the peak hours. What they call peak hours is anything after 6 a.m. Technically it starts tomorrow, but might still be busy because we're Saturday. Fingers crossed we get in with no problem. We've been moving 3 miles per hour for the past 30 minutes?
Yeah, maybe 20.
Yeah. So it looks like there is a line to the entrance. We also picked the central entrance, so I don't know if it's longer because of that. But I'm starting to have doubts if we can get in. The line is kind of long. It should be another kilometer, but it's like a kilometer of this.
Hello. This is a nice line you got back.
Well, we're trying to get through it. Do you folks already have a park pass?
No, we were going to buy an annual membership.
Absolutely, sir. Lane 1 or 2, your choice. If you want to just do the 3-day and it's everyone in the vehicle, get one of the annual passes. It's $80, but it also covers everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys.
The annual?
Yes, sir, for 80?
Yes, please.
You got it. And a map and a guide. So yeah, reservations are between 6 and 2. Unfortunately, we'll have to turn you around if you're here after 6, because as you can see, there's a line and we're not doing reservations yet.
Yes.
So there will be a line tomorrow, so shoot for 5:30.
Okay.
And other entrances, are they better to come? Because this is the main one, right?
This is actually not the main, the south one. They're worse than us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we thought it was the other way around, but thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
He said if you want to get in tomorrow and you don't have a reservation, which we don't, we need to be here by 5:30. But we have today, so we're gonna make most of it. We're going first to the waterfall that I mentioned. We just got to the first spot with waterfall. The parking is a little crazy. There's a lot of people waiting in line. I understand why you need a reservation, but once you get parked, it's not that bad. So I'm walking to the waterfall. From the distance, this looks really pretty. Let's go closer. Main area is a little crowded. You have people kind of everywhere. I don't know if you're supposed to climb here because they have a little line at the beginning, but people kind of do. So if you look behind me, you see like everybody's climbing. The waterfall is so beautiful, especially with the wind. The mist blows all over and the sun reflects the little drops of water, and I don't know how to describe, but it's just so beautiful. I was trying to go to this spot and all the rocks are kind of slippy, so you need to be very careful. And even though I have sneakers, it's just like sliding all over because, I mean, water polishes the rock. I'm gonna try to climb over there for the photo and then go back. We're now at our second spot, the Cathedral Beach picnic area. By the water, it looked really nice, so we decided to stop. Just head into the water and trying to see this beautiful shot. We got to the fun part of the visit is trying to find a spot, so we wanted to go to Ansel Adams Gallery, and we thought we're just gonna park pretty much as easy as the first two, and it's not anywhere close to that situation. The lot that is next to the gallery was full. This next one, it's next to the Valley Lodge, and we've been circling for past 15 minutes and it's just full. So the only way to get a spot if somebody leaves and you get super lucky. We are also stuck because it's one way. So this is kind of similar to the entrance we had, and this is the parking lot, and they're just all full. Do you think we have any chance to get a parking here?
Down here.
Yeah. Hallelujah! We found a spot. It's not where we wanted to find it, but at this point we were happy to have any. And now we're probably gonna walk. It should be about like 20-minute walk from this parking lot. Outside the fact that it's a little hot, it's all fine. But on the way back, apparently we can take a shuttle. We are in the village already. They seem to be doing some renovations on this side. And this is where the museum is, and the gallery is just straight, and I'm super excited to see what they have in the gallery. So it wasn't what I expected. Somehow I expected it would be like a museum, but it's more like a souvenir shop with a lot of different products. We picked up a few postcards and we might put them on the wall at home. And it's still cool. We still got some prints. But did it worth 20-minute walk? We were just coming for a snack, but then I saw they had soup and I felt like a soup, and we also got a sandwich, and I found this cool snack. It's artichokes. I've never tried it, so I figured it could be an interesting thing to try. The food is okay. It's more like, it's more like Subway quality. One more stop before the last one, and this one is Yosemite Valley view. It was just on the way, so we just stopped here. It's right by the river, and it's such a pretty view. You can see behind me, it's just so beautiful. This is definitely one of the best viewpoints for the famous El Capitan Peak. To find the exact location, search for Yosemite Valley view on Google Maps or El Capitan Meadows on Apple Maps. Last stop for today. It's called the tunnel view. It's the famous view from the photographs, and it just basically creates a tunnel of mountains. Let me show you. I think this is a perfect last stop for the visit, and that's our first visit to Yosemite. But we got an annual pass, so it's not going to be our last. And now as we're driving to the hotel, I wanted to give you a little overview of different places you can consider for staying. The first big group of hotels are the ones that are located inside the park. So those are definitely the best choices if you want to have the most convenient location. So if you're staying for several days and you really want to make the most of the park, I would recommend one of those. So there is one that is a main historic hotel, and it's the most expensive, but when I looked at the photos and reviews, I'm not sure if it's worth the price. It definitely has a historic value, but when it comes to comfort, it might not be the best choice, and also it's quite pricey. If I had to choose one for us to stay, I would probably go with Yosemite Lodge. It looked like the newer option, and it's also located quite conveniently for different spots. The second group of options are the places that are drive away from the park, and there is a lot of different places that are also newer and look nicer. So this is the three main options I considered for our booking. They're in different price categories, so let me walk you through them. The first one was this place. It's quite upscale, and the things we really liked here is how open it is. And then when you look at the rooms, there's this beautiful ranch style design, A-frame that gives you a lot of light, and it's so beautiful. But then when we looked at the price, it was quite expensive. It was almost $900, which is definitely a big budget for one night. Then I looked at some other options, and I found this one, which looked super cool. And if they had rooms available for our stay other than just the tent, we would definitely stay here. So this is more like a campsite, but they make it in a very cool campsite. So they transformed the airstreams. This looks like a super unique place to stay in, and this was kind of what caught my attention when I was researching this property. It's in the middle of the nature, and it has a shower in the room, so it sounded like a super cool option. One thing I have to mention is that the price point is also quite high. For our dates, only this tent was available, and it was $500 a night. And honestly, for a similar price, you can definitely find something more comfortable than the place that does have a shared bathroom. I think it can be a nice option if you are looking for some adventure. What we were looking for wasn't that. And then this place looked simple but comfortable. It seemed quite new. and it had good reviews. And also when you look at the price point, it was really a good price, especially given the other two options we considered. So this is the hotel we ended up with. Let me give you the tour. We just checked in. The room is pretty nice. You can tell the hotel is fairly new. Overall design is super nice. The way they described the hotel was like a casual design or something like this, but I actually find it's pretty elevated, especially these details, like leather details on the drawers, the lamps with a lot of wood elements, and in general it's warm woody tones, even this panel, the headboard on the bed. And then they have a lot of photos, so obviously this is a place that's known for beautiful photography. Well, this is the point we just saw in the park, which is pretty cool. And the thing I really love is this reading nook. It's right on the window. You have a chair and then you have this hall. It's like the table that is made next to the window, and so you have the table on this side, then this is air conditioning, and then there you have a reading nook, which is really nice. The bathroom is also pretty big. You have the shower over here, and then this is the vanity. They also have nice decorations like the shelf. That's pretty much it, but I really like the room actually. In general, I like when this is a newer hotel, so this one is less than a year old. You can see that it's new and clean, so it's very nice and comfortable. And I think the reason it's lower priced than some of the other places I saw, it's location. I don't think it's like a prime location, this particular town. And then also they don't have a swimming pool, and I saw that a lot of places, like lodges, they do have a swimming pool. That's pretty much it. We found the restaurant, so we're trying to figure out if they have tables. There's just nearby, and it looked really nice. We just came to the restaurant that's literally right across the street, and it's actually a hotel, and it's Roulet Chateau chain, which usually has a very nice hotels. I didn't know this one. I actually didn't see this one when I did my research, but it's a cool discovery. This was definitely a fine dining experience, and they offered a choice between the 3- and 5-course menu. We went for a smaller one and chose 2 different mains so that we can taste both options. I'll get the halibut and then strawberry curd. So we learned that this little circle, it was the pickled almond, so it's like the green part of almond, not the seed. It looked like olive because it's like hollow in the middle, and they just sliced it very thin. So now we know, and we are waiting for our bread. And the butter apparently is very unique. They cultivate it for 3 weeks. They take the fat from the brie and they add it to the butter, and so that's why it had like this very particular taste.
And you cannot ask for extra.
And the funny thing, I felt like my hamachi was missing some salt, so we asked for some salt, and it seems like they just have one set because the lady had to negotiate from the other table, and the person who had it next to them didn't want to give it up. It was a complication that I did not anticipate in a place like this. Okay, time to try. I've got the fish, Kevin got the meat. Let's taste. They got the salt right this time. It's good. Okay, we're finally at dessert. All in all, I would give it 8 out of 10. The meal was really good, but it felt slightly overpriced. We paid $300 for both of us. It was $110 for the menu and then $30 on top of built-in tax and the tips. In San Francisco, you have so many places you can try for similar price point that would probably surprise you more. So if you're in the area, I can definitely recommend trying this place, but it's probably not worth the separate trip just to go to the restaurant. We're checking out. Overall, this room was nice, but there was a couple of quirks we discovered during the last evening and night. Well, first of all, they're being on the ground floor, I definitely do not recommend, because we had upstairs neighbors who were quite loud, and I don't know if they were loud or it's just like the thin walls and everything, but we could hear every step. So I would definitely recommend asking for an upstairs room if you're coming to this place. And then others in the bathroom. So when you come into the bathroom, it's gonna automatically go on, and it's pretty bright. I was getting up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water. Unexpectedly was flashed with this bright light, and it didn't seem like there's much to do. I don't know, but this was like probably the most annoying thing. Yeah, shower-wise and bathroom-wise, not the most comfortable room, but the bed was nice. And if we were the floor up, I think we would be pretty happy with the room. We're at the breakfast. They have kids menu, which would have been perfect for me because I just want something small. It's all the stuff I like, you see. They have a mini classic.
Mm-hmm.
You hid that for me, Bambari. Mini yogurt parfait. Huh? They have all the things I wanted to try, but in mini version. I didn't know about.
Who would have known?
The plan for today, so we are not going back to the park because we don't have a pass. I mean, we can technically go at 2 if we're still in the area. It's like 4-hour drive to San Francisco, so I don't know what time we'll be leaving, but we're trying not to get there too late. But we might still get there around 2 p.m. if we feel like it. Other than that, we had a couple of recommendations. So there is this Beesore Road, which is very close to here and supposed to be a very picturesque road. Then there is the Bass Lake, and then we wanted to go check out this Mariposa coffee company. It's a family roasting company that's been around for a while, and it seemed like an interesting place to see, especially for people who like coffee like us. And there we don't have too much planned, but I have a couple of spots that are about the gold rush history. There is this train we passed yesterday that is kind of on the way. And then there is Mariposa's History Center that have quite a lot of historic objects from that era. And we figured it would be a good mix between the nature and then some history today, and then drive back. We came to the lake and we're in a town called The Pines, and we are going to the coffee shop, hopefully get nice coffee. The lake was very beautiful, but I'm not sure if we landed on the right spot. It felt more like a camping site where you can rent a boat or enjoy the small sliver of the beach. But we were hoping for a scenic walk close to the water, and it didn't quite fit. But if you want to rent a boat and ride on the lake, this is definitely a place to come. Okay, now we're gonna go drive the scenic road. So we're 3 minutes into the scenic road drive. So far it's very similar to the road we drove yesterday when we were trying to get into the park. So we'll see. We'll see if it turns more scenic. Halfway through, and the sign said there's a meadow at the end of the road with the same name. And I mean, it's pretty. We're just driving through the forest, so it got kind of prettier because it's got greener and there's pine trees on both sides of the road. I think that the meadow at the end of the road is probably the one with the pretty views. I'm not sure what this place is, but it looks like a small town. It's called Bayshore Meadow. I expected they were just gonna have like a big green meadow and like a view, but it is a town, and there's some kind of a market stall. So we're gonna go outside and see what is. So we came to the end of the Bayshore Drive or road, and we came to this beautiful meadow. It feels like a meditation spot for bikers, and I guess the road is just a pretty drive. It's probably not the place to come with a car because you kind of expect something at the end. It's a pretty view compared to Yosemite Park. Well, it's just much more low key. But if you are on a bike and you want to just come and meditate and have a stop, this is the place to be. I'm gonna drive to Mariposa town now. We're gonna see the museum. This was a really fun museum. Inside you can find a lot of artifacts from the era, a lot of history about the gold rush, and on top of it, it was very interactive. It looks like you have too many glasses on your face. One of the sections had 2 scale models, like saloon, doctor's office, shops. It was really cool to discover. It's not too big so that you get tired, but it's big enough so that you can learn new things in very interactive format. So I can definitely recommend checking out this museum. We came to the Mariposa Coffee Company. We're trying to figure out where the main building is because they have a few different ones. It smells nice.
So what you guys have stumbled upon is a 36-year-old coffee roastery. Jerry's the master roaster here, and he's an artisan craftsman in everything he does. Everything we roast in-house here, down below. Our roaster is considered an air roaster, so more like a combustion engine, different from a traditional barrel or drum roast. So we do a bunch of fun things here. If you guys want an afternoon cup of coffee, I'd be happy to make it. Otherwise, I pour up bags of beans, and everything's been roasted in the last like 24 to 48 hours. So super, super fresh stuff.
This was definitely a very short trip, so we didn't get to see everything, but I included all of the spots that didn't make it to this episode in the guide, and you can find it in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.